Sure. So I think, when I think of education, I think of a few things, right? So I think of A, there is learning, which is important. B, which is really important, is academic performance and judgment and evaluation. And that academic performance and judgment and evaluation sort of helps to categorize people into different categories. And the premise of that is scarcity, right? So 8,000 people may apply for an elite university and only 400 people may get in, right? So those are the first two things. The next piece is future preparedness. So why is the student or the parent sending the student to school in the first place? And a lot of that has to do with future preparedness. So when you think of the interplay of all of these and you think of AI, you start to realize that a few things start to change. One, as you're going into a smaller and smaller space, you realize that AI starts to open that space. It starts to democratize or unlock stranded brilliance in people, because you may be really good at math and maybe you didn't thrive at writing or speaking, but now you're able to do both. And so that's the transition. But here's where I think the big switch is. The big switch is, we typically went to school with the idea of being employed, right? What do you want to do when you grow up? You're going to work for someone. And a few people didn't think that way. Today, I think everyone is going to be a CEO. They're going to interact with a new continent. And on this continent, there are going to be billions of AI agents that operate at a PhD level with polymathic tendencies that have just graduated. So as a CEO, I have to think very differently than when I was the employee. So it's no longer, are you going to get a job? It's now a strategic partnership. It's no longer, are you going to get a promotion? It's now an acquisition. And it's no longer, do I have to work for one person? It's now, I have an army of agents that can do a number of different things. And I think that really switches the possibility, and it really switches the access. If you can imagine today, there are 5 billion people that have potential access to at least the lowest level of generative AI. There are hundreds of millions of people that have access to subscription level AI. And why is that important? My family's from Trinidad and Tobago. I traveled from the Caribbean to Canada for university. And what that really means is there was more information and more books in a geographical location than where I came from. That changes with AI. It expands dramatically. And so I think what you'll find is education is going to start to change from the edges. So the places that aren't incumbent, the places that don't have access to university, the places that are in different geographies, you're going to start seeing a big shift. So it's really going to move from knowledge to experience, and a whole different story about future preparedness, and future preparedness for what?